I'm quite bad about repairing my bikes, in part because I don't really have the skills, nor indeed the inclination to develop those skills particularly. I'd rather pay somebody whose job it is to do this sort of stuff well. But it does mean that I'm not very good at repairing an odd class of thing on my bike. So I tend to, and this is a kind of weird thing to explain, but I tend to think of my bikes as these sort of perfect, holistic objects, and when things go wrong with them, I want them to be made perfect again. But that's not always true, nor should it be. You know, these are bikes, there's components, there's bits brought together to make the thing the thing. This particular bike, the beautiful Seago 800S that Tenway sent me last year, has been knocked over a couple of times, and so it's a little bit bashed around the handlebars and on the brake levers here as well. And in particular on the brake levers, the metal here had been curled and bent around. It's been straightened back out again so they're comfortable to use, but it looks a little bit scrappy. And so let's have a go with some paint. I say let's, this is the me's the let's have a go with this paint, mask off the rest of the bike and see if a little metal paint can restore some of the original beauty of this. My point earlier, my temptation would be to replace this entire brake system, or at least the brake lever and whatever the hell this sort of caliper thing is that sits on here. I think there's oil goes in here. Let's see if I can break myself out of that way of thinking. Let's see if patching something up will make me just as happy as replacing it and making it completely perfect. Because, you know, the dings and dents are part of its story with me. Let's give it a go. So what I'm going to do is I've got some bin bags here, and I'm going to poke a hole in the bottom of one of them. Just here. And then I'm going to slide it over the bike like this and expose that. Does that seem reasonable? And then get some tape. And then tape this tight around here. That seems reasonable. Now, I can't be sure that the kind of paint I've got is exactly a good match for this. It's black, it's got a satin finish, which this looks like to me. Hopefully I won't get too hard a line here. Let's do the same for the other side. The thing I'm thinking is if I spray down here, the paint is going to go onto the wheels, but I don't think I need particularly to mask off the entirety of the front wheel. I think what I can do is just grab a bit of card or something and hold it under here as I spray, so I'm going to grab a bit of card. Unsurprisingly, the instructions ask you to abrade the surface. It's pretty abraded already, but I'm just going to rough it up a little bit more. The paint that I've got is specifically designed to be even applied directly to rust, so I think it should go on pretty nicely. And brush away any dust. I've got a glove for this left hand that's going to be behind the paint. And then shake vigorously for 3 minutes. Do you want to keep the camera rolling for 3 minutes? Shall we cut? Okay, I think we're done. So, bit of cardboard here, I'm just going to put behind here, light coats. It's been quarter of an hour, as you can probably tell by the position of the sun, which is going down rapidly. And I've come back out to have a look at this. Actually, do you know what? So the instructions on this Hammerite paint recommends that you put 3 to 4 coats on. I think that's going to be too much. I think that's for like fencing and stuff like that. This looks pretty good, even just with 1 coat on it. I can see some slight brightnesses where it's not quite covering the original abrasions. But basically, I'm going to give this another coat, and then I think I'm done. That's already starting to bubble very slightly, which suggests that maybe I'm putting the paint on a little bit too thick, but I think it'll be okay for what I need. Let's do the other side. Okay. I think we're done. We're going to let that dry, and then this should be back, if not quite as good as new, because that's okay. That's me trying to sort of make my peace with things not being quite as good as new, but I think it should not catch my eye anymore. If you ever watch the YouTuber Adam Savage, he talks when he's doing detail work on models that when he's building something, especially if he's aging something or weathering something, he wants to get to a stage where bits don't catch his eye and sort of draw him in unnecessarily. And the marks on here were catching my skin, the roughness of it you could feel, and also catch my eye visually as well. So maybe, just maybe, a little can of spray paint will redeem my beautiful bike and bring it back into beautiful working order. Maybe I'm mad. I don't know.